healing does not mean being super nice. All of a sudden, you're very available. You are very palatable. Some people have the misconception that healing means all that, but healing would make you clearer. Not everybody enjoys clarity, and honestly, you don't even notice it at first. You just started doing things differently, not explaining as much, like leaving when you felt done instead of pushing through just to, be acceptable. And then once you start doing that, once you start listening to your gut, that's when the reactions start changing. Because if you've always been one of those people who always been available, who always done something for the other person to be happy, or who's always been the nice one, the palatable one, the malleable one, things are gonna change if you start taking different actions, or once you heal, or once you start saying no to things that actually made the other person more comfortable in a situation. And I think when you start healing, people expect you to become more agreeable. Like I said, people think healing means more calm, more soft, more understanding. But what actually happens is you stop performing. You stop filling silences. You stop smoothing things over just so everyone else stays comfortable. And for people who were used to that version of you, yeah, it can feel like you changed because you did. And that doesn't automatically make it a bad thing. I mean, before getting to the version, or you call it healing, or becoming the version you always wanted to become, because you're always growing. You'll never be completely who you are. You can't accept completely who you are, but you're constantly evolving. And the more you experience life, the more you experience situations and circumstances, you'll still be healing, or I call it healing. There was a version of you that was easier to like. And, you can see that clearly when you outgrown that particular version of you. And the way when you analyze things from the past, you realize you listened more than you spoke. You gave the benefit of the doubt even when it wasn't earned. You stayed longer than you should have. And these are some things that you can, you'll think about it, like later on, be like, okay, I should have done it sooner. And when you think about it, you don't really hate that version of yourself. That version was doing the best they could with what they knew at the time. But healing means that you cannot keep living there. Like, you have to outgrow things. You have to outgrow versions, because that version is tired, quietly resentful, and always negotiating their own needs when it should just come easy. And that's not a safe place to be. And here's the thing no one really warns you about. When you set boundaries, some people don't hear self-respect. They hear rejection. You're not pulling away. You are no longer overextending. That's how I would put it. But to someone who benefited from your overgiving, that can feel personal. Or they see the loss in what you were able to give them. It's an access that they are losing. They always see that as rejection. And honestly, like, when that happens, at first you feel, oh my God, did you do something wrong? When you actually stand up for yourself, right? Or was that messed up and all that? And at first, I thought it was messed up, because I went through a phase where I questioned myself a lot. Like, am I becoming cold? Am I too rigid? Am I losing my softness, right? And all these came from setting boundaries, because I was not used to setting that to that degree. But then I realized I didn't lose my softness. I just stopped handing it out to people, or handing it out without discernment. Everything needs a certain level of discernment. And that's not being unkind. That's just being awake. You are awake now. You're no longer asleep and following the script that you were handed over. And healing doesn't make you less loving. It makes you more intentional. If someone misses the version of you that always spent, that always stayed, that always absorbed everything like a sponge, they might not miss you. They might miss the access that you provided. And that's a hard truth to take in, but it's also a freeing one. Once you learn that, you'll master healing. You'll master the understanding, you can move through this world by being yourself. You don't need somebody else's validation. So yeah, one thing I learned is like healing might make you less likable to some people, but it also makes you more aligned with yourself. And I always say that if you notice that some people fall away as you grow, it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It might mean that you're finally doing something honest and right and true to yourself. And I just wanted to share that. That's it. Like always, thanks for tuning in to Just Real Talk. This is just a short thought that I had. Like always, see you next time.